Shohei Ohtani will not be traded this offseason, but one of the Blue Jays catchers will be. A report surfaced today that it's almost certain that one of them is going to be gone by the end of the offseason, and Alek Manoah. He's a finalist for the AL Cy Young Award, so we'll break that all down and much more on Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside co-host Nick Gosse. We want to thank you once again for helping us hit 1K. Seems like it was just yesterday. And now today we look at our subscriber count. We're almost at 1.4K, so I think we'll hit 2K before we even have a graphic to show you guys.
Yeah, the support has been unbelievable. I'll quickly remind you guys, 87.5% of you that are watching right now are not subscribed. So if you do enjoy the daily content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It means the world to us. And yeah, like Peter said, the support's been unbelievable. The comments, the likes, obviously subscribers as our account rises, and we're approaching 1,500. It's been unreal. So thank you guys so much for that. But let's get right into the video. We have tons to get into today as two major reports have dropped. And we'll begin with the first one, which is a Shohei Ohtani trade update. Now, kind of going to be the bearer of bad news here for you Jays fans who wanted to trade Ohtani, or trade for Ohtani. A report surfaced just the other day that you can see here, Angels GM Perry Minasian announced that the Angels will not trade Shohei Ohtani this offseason. So this surfaced the other day, and it basically put, all the claims and all the potential trades maybe to rest. So I'll get into my opinion there in a second. But what are your initial thoughts on that, Peter?
Well, I figured it would happen because the Angels just signed him for that 1 year deal before he actually hits free agency for real. So yeah, he's going to spend that year in LA, and then they're going to kind of see where they go. But I wouldn't rule out a trade at the deadline for Shohei Ohtani. So yeah, maybe they don't want to trade him in the offseason. They want to try to add some more pieces, see if a core of Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and whatever pieces they could get this offseason could make a run. And then by the All-Star break, if they're not any good, then maybe we'll look at one of the most blockbuster trades to ever happen at the trade deadline. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to mention basically a similar thing to that is that obviously, they say they're not going to trade him this offseason. Now, there's two ways you can think of this. You can take it at face value, and I think they're not going to trade him this offseason. I think the trade deadline is very possible because obviously he's only extended for one more year, so he ends up doing bad, or the Angels end up doing bad. We know Shohei's going to perform, and then the trade deadline comes up. They could trade him and get a huge package, or this could be a bit of a smokescreen because they're not getting the packages they want to increase the other offers. This is a bit of a less likely scenario, but it's still one to keep in mind.
Yeah, and another thing to note with Ohtani is that the entire Angels marketing, I mean, this goes beyond baseball here. If you watch an Angels game, whenever Ohtani is up to bat, whenever he's pitching, every ad in the stadium is a Japanese advertisement. So if you trade Ohtani mid-season, you have to reshuffle your entire marketing campaign, your entire advertisement campaign. So that would kind of uh, that would really make things tough for the Angels. So maybe they are just saying this because they want a "I'll make you an offer you can't refuse" type of thing in the offseason. But either way, like, it's tough to trade this guy just because you'll never get enough value in return because it's Shohei Ohtani. And second, you're going to have to shuffle around so many things. It's going to be real tough.
And not only that, most of their or a lot of their profits, like you said, from the business standpoint, not just advertising, but like merchandise, everything like that, stems from Shohei Ohtani. So if they're trying to sell the team or whatever they're trying to do, Ohtani is a key to that. So obviously trading him would be a big hurdle, and if they're going to try to ever sell the team or whatever they're doing. But for Jays fans out there, maybe the trade deadline, we'll definitely have some speculation and there'll be reports. But for now, it seems as if the trades have been put to rest for Shohei Ohtani. But what hasn't been put to rest is the next topic, which is catching trade report that came out today. And Peter, I know you'll have a bit to say about this, but it is a report that surfaced. The Blue Jays are expected to trade a catcher this offseason, according to multiple rival executives I've spoken with at the GM meetings. The Jays have an abundance of talent at the position: Danny Jansen, Alejandro Kirk, Gabby Moreno. We kind of been speculating this. Obviously, we've made a couple videos on it, but today is the first official report from an insider with sources that have blatantly said the Jays are definitely trading one of their catchers. So this is pretty big news because now we officially know. So we've already spoken about who. What are your thoughts on the report, just in general?
Oh, we knew it was coming. We had a feeling that it would need to happen just because the Blue Jays are not an all-around team. They have a lot of holes up and down their roster, and having three really good catchers doesn't really make sense. So you got to get rid of one of them and try to address the other holes that you have in your roster. And luckily for them, they have three really good catchers and can get a return for either one of them depending on what they're looking for.
Yeah, so I think this also kind of goes to show that they're not going to be putting Gabby in the minors this year, and they're not going to be having Gabby obviously as a third catcher. So I know a couple of you guys commented that saying you could carry all three. It's not like a foregone conclusion, and that you can see what you can do with Gabby, but they have full faith in Gabby, or they're going to trade him. But regardless, pretty big report, and I'll pop something else up on the screen here for you guys. So this is from two people inside the the Blue Jays writing world. Josh Goldberg, most likely Blue Jays catchers to be dealt, in his opinion, are Jansen, followed by Moreno, followed by Kirk. And then Mike Wilner, the radio guy, said, I think this would be a big, big mistake to trade Jansen. I believe the Jays are likeliest to deal Moreno. Most likely to deal Moreno. He still has the fancy prospect shot on him and will likely never bring back more in a trade than he would this winter. I posted a community day or a community post when I was at work today asking you guys who you think would be most likely to be traded, and that was before this report even came out, so it worked out very well. And 49% of you guys said you would like Kirk to be dealt the most, followed by 29% with Jansen and 22% of Gabby. So you guys do want to keep Gabby. So let me know in the comments what your guys opinions are on that. But what are your thoughts on this here, Peter? About what would you rank for you? I think I know Kirk would be last for you, but what would your ranking be for most likely in Jays to be dealt?
I would go Moreno first, Jansen second, and then Kirk third. Just the simple fact that you already know what you have in your catching duo in Kirk and Jansen. They show what they could do this last season. They showed what they could do years before, and they became one of the more elite, the most elite duo in Blue Jays franchise history. Now, I don't know if you want to mess with that. And like Mike Wilner said, you can't get more than you're going to get from Moreno this offseason. I mean, I just don't see it. So if you trade Moreno, who by far has the highest value of any of the three, you could really bring an all-star caliber player back in return. And I have a couple of names in mind that I would like to see in Toronto.
Yeah, I'll get to those in a sec. So yeah, you're fully agreeing with Wilner here. Obviously, I'll pop it up one last time. He obviously everything you just said, he basically echoed. I guess vice versa. I would agree. I'm gonna go with who I think they're gonna I'm gonna go with who I think the front office the order is, which I think is gonna be Kirk, Moreno, and then Jansen. I think that's the order the front office has in their head right now. You could flip flop Moreno and Kirk. I just for some reason I don't think they're gonna trade Jansen. He's been with the Jays for a while, and I just don't think the value that he will get in a trade will be enough to suffice for them. But what are your players that you'd like to see in a trade for whoever, Kirk or Moreno?
All right, so this might be a bit of a long shot. I don't know what the Arizona Diamondbacks are looking for in return for these two guys, but it's Zach Gallen, who has been unbelievable ever since he stepped foot on a major league mound. Great starting pitcher. You could rely on him for 180 plus innings, and he looked really elite last season. And the second guy is Ketel Marte, who's been an all-star. He's 29 years old in the prime of his career, maybe hasn't had the greatest of runs in the past couple seasons, but he's a guy that's hit 30 plus home runs, who's hit over 300 on numerous occasions, and I just love to see both those guys in return. I think Gabby Moreno and or Kirk gets this deal done. I did it on the trade simulator for baseball baseballtradevalues.com, and I saw that Zach Gallen and Ketel Marte basically equal to Alejandro Kirk's value, even maybe even a bit less than Alejandro Kirk's value, and a lot less than Gabby Moreno's value. So I don't know. Those are two intriguing players that might be a possibility to make their way to Toronto. Zach Gallen, 250 ERA. He's been sub three every year in the majors besides one season. So I don't know. I like the look of that.
Yeah, I like both of them. The question is, will the Diamondbacks do they need a catcher, and would they be open to trading their two players? Because obviously, Ketel Marte, I believe, is on a great contract, quite team friendly, switch hitter, and all that stuff. I like those two a lot, and we'll have plenty of hypothetical trades. I think they, yeah, I mean, if the Diamondbacks are willing to trade those two pieces, that's definitely someone to be interested in. And I think they're going to be targeting, like you said, the pitching front, obviously, as well as a left-handed bat, so that would hit both of those. I will let's get into the last topic now, which is Manoah Cy Young, award finalist. This is pretty big. I'll get into your opinion on if you think he's gonna win it, but I'll just pop up the graphic here. So this was his first full season. He was a Cy Young finalist, All Star, 16 wins, 2.24 ERA, 196 innings, 180 Ks. Absolutely spectacular. As you can see here, a big year from Big Puma. Manoah is a Cy Young finalist. What are your thoughts on just your quick thoughts on him, and I guess the fact that he's competing with Verlander and Cease for the AL Cy Young?
Well, first, that's great company to be in, and this is something that we'll expect from Alek Manoah going forward. I mean, he's set the bar really high ever since he made his first start in Yankee Stadium, and I mean, I expect nothing less next year. I expect a sub 250 ERA and 190 plus innings. He's a workhorse and just a great pitcher to build your team around.
Yeah, I love Manoah. He's I get like you said, he's our workhorse. He's the one guy who I can see. I mean, I could see obviously Vladdy as well, but the one guy I think is going to be here for the long haul. And I don't think he wins it. I think Verlander
Me
probably
neither.
wins it.
Yeah.
But it was a being top three is a huge accomplishment, especially with how young he is. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. This was filled with news. Let us know in the comments about Peter's proposed trade idea with Marte and Zach Gallen. And again, thank you guys for the support. It's just been unbelievable. I truly can't thank you enough for just every single day that we post. You guys always show support. It means the world.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been super fun making these videos, and thank you all for watching.
See you tomorrow.